Hi everybody, welcome to Sunday supper on Saturday. Today we're going to do a dish for Mother's Day, quiche. Way back I used to do quiche. I used to do a big Mother's Day brunch at my house. We used to have 40, 50 people sometimes. It was so much fun, and one of the biggest things that people liked was the quiche. Of course, they love my brother's paninis as well, but quiche was always something that people really liked. These are quite easy to make. You really just need pie shells, the ingredients. It's so simple, it's very quick. And the reason I'm doing it Saturday is because I want them to be done and cooked, and then tomorrow morning you can just heat them up and serve them. Serve mom in bed, if you're married, serve your wife in bed, girlfriend, whoever it is. Just make it a great day for them. So the first thing that we're gonna do is get our pie shells and make sure that they're out. So the ones I use, just because I'm gluten-free, are wholly gluten-free. And these just need to thaw for 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set a timer, because what I found out when I did this earlier this morning was that it took about 20 minutes to do this whole thing. So that's open. I'm just going to open these up. There's a little tab here somewhere. To me, quiche is always better the next day anyhow, as far as I'm concerned. There we go. And we'll just take that off. Take these off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them on the big cookie sheet that I have. It just makes it a lot easier to put the ingredients inside. The other thing is, if you bought deep dish pie shells, great, no problem. Some of them say you need to cook them first. This just says don't if you're making quiche, so it really just depends on what you purchase. You just need to look at the directions and you'll be fine. So we're gonna get this. My cookie sheet that I already put the parchment paper on. And I'm just going to put these in here. It just makes for less cleanup in the oven. Because I can tell you the first batch definitely went over. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to cut up the broccoli, because we're going to use two different. I have broccoli here, which I defrosted already. And then ham. Now if you're going to use two pie shells and you only want to do ham, you can use this whole ham slice. If not, you're just going to use a half, which is what I'm going to do. I'm only going to use a half because that's what I needed. I would say first things first. Anybody that watches knows that I try and do everything a little bit healthier than what we're used to eating, just to try and cut down on calories one way or the other. So I use half egg whites and then half regular eggs. So in this particular case, I'm going to use, well, I already know that I only need a cup. So it's a cup of egg whites. And then I'm still going to use 6 eggs. And I have to tell you, it's fun because I have a friend that has a farm. So I got to actually go get fresh eggs from her today, which was very nice. Thank you, Katrina and Anthony, for the eggs. I mean, they're all different. It's kind of cool. I actually might not use as many, only because some of these are gigantic. Of course, I got a shell in there. Let's get that puppy out. Let's see. Nope. Oh boy. Got it. There we go. Okay. I think I'm just going to use one of the smaller ones because that one was so gigantic. It's 4, 5, another shell. I think that's the difference with the ones that are fresh. They're not as hard. Oh, here we go. Almost. I'm sure you've all been there and got the eggshell in. Just getting it out before your guests eat it is always fun. Usually I could do this pretty quickly, but oh, there we go. And then I think I need one more. In this particular case, because these shells are, my shells are they're not very deep. So what I do with this next time, I'm not going to probably use all of this because it was way too much earlier today when I did this. So we have our egg whites, we have that. And then again, instead of using regular milk, half and half or heavy cream, I bought oat milk. And the reason why I use oat milk is because, believe it or not, they actually put oil in it. Craziest thing. Try and eat healthy and they put oil in it. So anyhow, it's still better if you have a dairy allergy, you can use this in its place. And we're going to use a cup. We're going to use 2 cups of this actually. So you have 1 and 2. And then you're just going to get your whisk and you're going to whisk it up. So let's see if you can see that. There we go. Just kind of break the eggs up. Now the other thing I like to add is nutmeg, a little bit of nutmeg, and a little bit of pepper. Just sprinkle in, really, if you want to put an eighth or a full eighth of a teaspoon or half a teaspoon. And then I'm just going to put some white pepper in that. I'm just sprinkling. Yeah, that looks good. Let's see. Oh, so my aunt has something on there, and she said use the other half of the eggshell to scoop out the piece of egg that got in there. Yes. And you want to make sure that this is mixed completely through. And in the meantime, you should be turning your oven on. So before we go any further, let's turn our oven on to 375. There we go. So we're getting that heated up. Our pie shells are defrosting the way they're supposed to. Okay. Now the next thing we need is the cheese. So I did 2 different cheeses. I did a sharp cheddar and I also did a mild cheddar. And since I need a cup of each, I'm just going to do there we go, cup of that one, and then a cup of the mild. There we go. And you just stir that in. Okay. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to cut up our broccoli. We want about a cup. I swear I had a knife. Okay. And I do. So for the broccoli, I'm just gonna, it should be defrosted already. If you have it, you have to use something that, this was like probably pre-cooked. You don't want the one that's raw. And I just cut it up into really small pieces. And you want about a cup. You can do 2 of the broccoli and cheese if you want, or you can do 1 ham and 1 broccoli. I chose to do 1 ham and 1 broccoli just so you can see what they look like. Then figure out who I'm giving this all away to. There we go. And then you want a cup. So I'm just going to stick this in here. Yep. Not quite. I'm going to cut up the other piece that I have. It's a little over a cup. Fine. You know. We could always say this is the healthier one. We're getting in our vegetables. Okay. So we have all that. And then what I'd like to do is, we have our pie shells. So for this one, I'm just going to put this right in the bottom. If you wanted to add more broccoli, you can. If you want to do asparagus, I had somebody say they love asparagus. I do too. And again, when I did this for Mother's Day, I used to make all different kinds. So you have that one is done. Now we need to dice up the ham. Since I already used this earlier, we are just going to cut it. Try and cut it as small as possible. So there we go. And I have to say, this is probably going to be a really hard Mother's Day. This will be the first Mother's Day without my mom. And I think it's going to be a little hard. Another reason why I do this today. But you know what? For all those that still have their mom, hold them tight. And for those that do not, I mean, just remember all the great times that you had. I mean, for me, my mom, I loved that she cooked all the time. I loved that we all learned how to cook from her. And my grandmother, of course. Her mom. Thank God for memories. And you know what? For us, thank God for good memories. We had a good childhood. We had 2 wonderful parents. Okay, so we have that cut up. It's about a cup, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. And then I'm just going to stick that in here. There we go. Just break it up, make sure it's all in there. So if you notice, they both kind of just cover the bottoms of it. And then with our egg mixture that we have here, I feel like this is still not completely done. Yeah. Oof. All right. So I like to use a ladle to do this. You have them both here. Scoop from the bottom so that you're getting all the cheese. Two, three. I'm going to do this one. 1, 2, 3. When I made this earlier today, it was it really went over. There's a 4th one there. We'll do a 4th one here. And I'm going to say a 5th. And then I'm probably going to just stop at the 5. Because I don't want it to go all over again. Yeah, that seems about right. So then with the rest of the egg that you have, you can put it in a glass dish. You can cook it. You can also get a potato. You can slice it very thin, spray your pan, put the potatoes in there almost like you're doing a scalloped potato, and then you can put the mixture on top and cook it that way. And there you also have a crust. But I've made this when I was away and just did it in a pan, a glass pan, so there was no carbs at all. It was just really a great breakfast to have. So as we wait for the oven to get up to temperature, get my eggs and put them away. And I don't know about you, but I really do think that quiche is so much better the second day. And the other thing you want to make sure is that you can walk this to the oven without having it all over the place. Let's just say earlier I made quite the mess. So lucky for me, I did a trial run. Your ovens should be up to temperature. It's an easy cleanup as well. I mean, all this should be fairly quick to get together again and get your kitchen back in order. Let's see here. 355, my oven's up to temperature for it. So hopefully people are doing some fun things tomorrow. Karen, whoever wants it, I'm giving it away to. I know you won't do the ham, but maybe you want a broccoli and cheese. Okay, that's the cue that the oven is ready. So we're just gonna come down. And let's see if we can see inside the oven. So, oh yeah, look at that, okay. We're gonna try and do this so that it's not spilled all over the place. There we go. Close the oven, and you're gonna do it for 45 minutes. That's what I did. I set the timer for 45 minutes. I'm gonna clear it. It said 10 to 20 minutes for the defrost of the shells. There's only 3 minutes and 48 seconds left, so I think we could stop that now. And now we are just going to start the timer for 45 minutes. And hit that. And then what'll happen is 45 minutes later, they are done. When they're cooked, you'll know. I mean, they puff up really high, and then you just want to make sure when you touch the middle that it doesn't give. And once you know that that's done, you're fine. So here we have the ham and cheese, and here we have the broccoli and cheese. Bon appetit. Enjoy Mother's Day tomorrow. And don't forget to give your mom a hug and a kiss. Have a great day.